Dear students, welcome to another lecture in quality control. Today, let us see the topic ISO 9000 series and another topic ISO 14000 series. Okay. So, first of all, what is ISO? ISO stands for International Organization for Standardization. You see, this ISO, all the standards that the technical work they publish under the heading ISO standards. Okay, you see, actually ISO is network of many national standards, so standard institutes. You see, in India we have a standard institute called as Bureau of Indian Standards, BIS. This is our Indian standards institute, and it is set up by the government, by our government of India. Okay, now like that in every country there is a standards institute. Okay, normally, unless they are very small countries, we don't know, they may not have, but anyway, most of the countries they have national standard institutes. National means for that nation only, but when we are talking about international, that means all the countries will follow. So this ISO, it is having as members or as representatives around 150 countries, more than 150 countries. Okay, so ISO 9000 we are talking about. See, now ISO has many series, but now we are not discussing about all those things. Now we here, because from the quality point of view we are studying ISO 9000, one thing we are seeing, and another series is ISO 14000. Okay, now first let us see about ISO 9000. Now ISO 9000 is a series of standards. Series means it is not only ISO 9000, it may be ISO 9001, 9002, like that, a list, a number, okay, a number of standards. ISO 9000 is a series of standards which are developed and published by ISO, that is the International Organization for Standardization. Okay, and they define and establish and maintain the effective quality assurance systems for manufacturing and service industries. You see, these are two different spheres. One is manufacturing, that means you produce some product, a tangible product which you can give in exchange for money. That is, if you manufacture, you get it. And another thing is service. You see, this is something which is not a tangible product, but it is like a service, like see, if you go to a lawyer, he gives you counsel. If you go to a doctor, he gives you an advice, or he diagnoses your problem and he may give you some suggestion, some prescription. You see, what doctor is doing, what lawyers are doing is service. See, like that, there are either service industries or manufacturing industries. Okay, so this ISO 9000 series, what they are doing is they are defining quality assurance system which is useful for manufacturing as well as service industries. They are establishing the quality assurance system, and they are maintaining they maintain quality assurance system, this ISO 9000 series. Okay, so this series, it not only available this is the only available internationally accepted standard for quality management system in the world. See, other things maybe may not, this is internationally accepted, and the other things, like if your BIS standards and other things are there, it may be the use of that may be restricted to one country or a few countries at any given point of time. Okay, so but this ISO 9000 series is internationally accepted only available standard, okay, as far as quality management system is concerned. Okay, so this stands for system standardization and certification. What standardization certification? System standardization certificate, rather than product standardization certificate. See, these they are not, these standards, they are not defining a particular product. You see, if you take like that, products number will go to thousands, lakhs, and millions of products are there in the world. You cannot be making a standard for each and everything. Okay, rather what ISO 9000 is doing is, it is standardizing the system standardization and certification. For that, this ISO 9000 is used. So ISO promotes standardization to facilitate international exchange of goods. See, why we should follow? See, the simple thing is, if everybody is following their own rule, our product, our Indian product, cannot be used in some other country. Suppose Sri Lanka imports our goods, takes our goods, and uses. You see, if they are having different standard system, and we are having different standard system, how our products they can use? They cannot use. You see, for example, we use 220 volts supply in India. Americans use 110 volts. So if any electrical good if we bring from America here, will we be able to use it? No, we cannot use it. You see, like that. See, if it is an international standard accepted by all the countries, then then this exchange of goods will become possible. Okay, so this ISO promotes standardization to facilitate. That means it helps, or it makes it possible, you can say, international exchange of goods and services, and to develop international economical, technical, and intellectual cooperation. So for all these things, this ISO forming of an ISO institute was necessary. Okay, so all the countries came together and formed. Okay, and more than 150 countries are members or representatives in ISO. Okay, now ISO 9000, this facilitates mutual recognition of any product which is legally produced or marketed in one country to be accepted in another country. See, that means, what is produced in India, we will be able to export to African countries. For example, Kenya, Nigeria, we can export. You see, because if we stick to international standards, the other countries can accept us. Okay, like that. So as a buyer, a company would prefer to deal with ISO certified suppliers. You see, now most of the companies, if they are getting their supplies, their materials, their equipments from some other company, see, normally they will look for those companies, or you can say ancillary units, you can say, or those small scale units which are supplying to this another company. You see, those people will be looking at suppliers who are ISO compliant. If they are ISO compliant or ISO certified suppliers, then they need not bother about minor the inspection at their level. Okay, and wasting time for it, wasting time and energy, money. Okay, see, this ISO certified supplier, if who has demonstrated his capability to a third party, may be a consumer in the areas of design, development, production, installation, service, quality product, meeting the requirements, etc. See, all these things. You see, actually, somebody, when you are getting certification, some people are coming and inspecting and certifying you that you are an ISO 9000 certified company. Okay, if that is the case, you will say ISO 9000 certification I am having. Okay, so the other person, without question, he will accept you. Now this ISO 9000 is a selection guide for quality measurement system standard. Earlier also we said it is a system standard, it is not a product standard. So quality management system standard, this ISO 9000 acts as a selection guide for it. Okay, ISO 9000 is a series of 6 internationally agreed upon standards. There are 6 in this series, that means in this list there are 6 standards which are internationally agreed. Okay, to guide and audit a company's quality management practices, documents, records, etc. These 6 standards are given in the next table. Okay, if you see, yeah, ISO 9000, ISO 9001, 2, 3, 4, and ISO 8402. These are 6. Okay, see ISO 9000. What is the objective of it? Is guideline on selection and use of quality management and quality assurance standards. So this is mostly like a selection guide, you can see. Okay, then ISO 9001. This is meant for organizations dealing with the production and installations. You see, installation means if you are installing machines, or you are erecting things, for that. And for production means it can be manufacturing, or it can be through any other process also. Okay, production. So for these things, ISO 9001 is used. Okay, see, for that means in most of the mechanical industries must be falling in ISO 9001. So it is applicable for industries which are doing their own design and development, production, installation, servicing. You see, if it is a little big company and they are not depending upon others, or they are not taking the help of others, but they are doing their own design and development, they are doing their own production, their own installation, servicing, then this ISO 9001 will be applicable. Okay, this ISO 9001 has 20 elements. Now our scope is not to go into finer details of these 20 elements. Okay, just to know about what is 9001. Okay, we will restrict ourselves with that. Now those people who are interested further can go and explore this. Okay, now ISO 9002. So this is applicable for the units, or the industrial units, excluding R&D functions, research and development functions. Those who are using, for them this will not be applicable, but for others it is applicable. ISO 9002 has 18 elements. The 2 excluded elements in 9002 are design, control, and servicing, which are included in ISO 9001, having 20 elements. So in this ISO 9001, the design, control, and servicing are not there. Otherwise, ISO 9001 has 20 elements, and in the ISO 9002 has 18 elements. Okay. Now next, ISO 9003. This is concerned with quality assurance. This covers the final inspection and testing for laboratories and warehouses, etc. And this standard has 12 elements. Okay. Then ISO 9004. This standard provides guidelines to interpret the quality management and quality assurance. And ISO 9004 is more extensive, and it covers additional elements over and above what is covered in ISO 9001. You see, you have to see which is needed for your company, and accordingly you have to choose. Okay, quality, cost, and product safety and liability have been covered only in ISO 9004. Okay, then ISO 8402. this deals with standardization of quality vocabulary. Okay, that means more like definitions and other things, this 8402 has. Okay, so what we see is, either of these 9001, 2, 3, 4, these things may be useful for the companies. The one of the ISO 9000 is only like a selection guide for the quality management and quality assurance standards, and the sixth one is, it is dealing with the vocabulary, quality vocabulary. Okay, anyway, now the features, outstanding features of ISO 9000 series of standards. Now ISO 9000, it is applicable to all types of industries and organizations, both in manufacturing and service sectors. These standards, they, who form these standards? These are the people who are experts in their fields, specially handpicked and chosen after looking at their credentials, who have worked for a number of years in that field. Such people, who are well conversant with the problems, failures, and everything that occur now. And those things which occur in the industries, such people will be chosen to formulate these standards. They are not novices, they are not newly come into the business, people who are having 25-30 years of experience, such people may be selected to formulate these standards. Then ISO 9000 standard, ISO 9000 defines the basic concept, specifies the procedure and criteria to ensure the outgoing products meet the customer requirements. So this the series, ISO 9000 series of standards, what is it doing is, what should be the procedure, what should be the criteria, so that the products should meet the consumers' requirements. Then ISO 9000 is documentation oriented system. See, this is important. Documentation oriented. Document means everything is documented. It is put on the paper. You will have papers, documents. Okay. Now you say we are following paperless management and all. Okay, then at least in computer document also you can have, if not printed paper. Okay, documentation oriented system. This allows complete freedom of selection and use of process and framing of operation procedures and work instructions. You see, each company has their own freedom to select and use the process, and to frame their own procedures and their own working instructions. You see, it is not so stringent, you have to do this only. Okay, see, the important feature of ISO 9000 are the integration of all activities. All activities means all the direct and indirect works that are going to affect the quality of a product that we are producing, or quality of the service that we are rendering. Okay, see, for that, whatever activity is going to contribute, the sum total of all that, you have to add up all those things, and look at it. Okay, this ISO 9000, this looks at not only just the production, even all the others, other activities which are going to affect the quality of that product. Okay, there are no dictatorial clauses in the standards. You see, that's what I said. You have freedom, complete freedom. Okay, you have, but sorry, you have complete freedom. It is not a dictatorial. So in most cases it requires company to establish its own procedures. See, procedures, your procedure and everything will be depending upon the product, how your product is. See, now these standards for system standards. See, the total system of quality is thrown open for verification by customer, and the confidence is built in that customer. And see, the quality, the confidence is built in the customer. What confidence? That organization can deliver the product at the quality that I want. You know, you see, when a company resolves to adapt themselves to ISO 9000, or when they takes up the ISO 9000 certification, then you see, the customers and others will naturally, they'll be more drawn towards that company, because their standards are international standards. They're complying to international standards. That is the meaning. They are maintaining the documentation. They are subjecting themselves to the third party, for the inspection from others, outsiders. See, therefore, no, their quality will naturally be good. That's why the customer will be, will have the confidence in that company. Okay, the series of ISO 9000 standards tells suppliers, manufacturers about what is required for quality oriented working system. It there's standards. The moment a company is ISO 9000 certified, see, the suppliers and manufacturers, everybody come to know. So what is required for them, at what levels their quality should be, they will know. It does not set out extra special requirements which only a few firms can comply with. It is not that very rich companies or very what cash rich companies or big organizations only can follow ISO 9000. Nothing like that. You see, even small companies also can use these standards. Okay, so ISO 9000 standards are designed to be user friendly. These are also generic in nature, and they follow a logical and easy understood format, and these can be applied to any product. They are saying it can be a gear tooth to a nuclear reactor. Any product you can apply these ISO standards. Okay, then next, objectives of 9000 series. Now, objectives, what are the objectives? See, the first one is the development of standardization and the related activities in the world, with a view to permit international exchange of goods and services. International goods and services can be exchanged. Okay, that is why international standards should be followed. See, the ISO 9000 series helps in that. Okay, and not only exchange of goods, it also helps to develop cooperation in spheres like intellectual spheres, and technological sphere, economic sphere, economical activity, everything. In all these things, you can develop cooperation also. Then, to achieve and maintain and seek to continuously improve quality of the product or the service in relationship to requirements. You see, according to the customer requirements, you see, this ISO 9000 series helps you to achieve those quality standards and to maintain those quality standards, and also to improve. As the customers' requirements keep on changing, you have to improve your quality of the product. Okay, so that the customer is always satisfied. Okay, this ISO 9000 helps in that. And the third one is to improve the quality of operations, to continuously meet the stated and implied needs of the customers and the stakeholders. So it helps us to improve the quality, because it is continuously changing. We saw before also, these customers needs keep on changing, and all the other stakeholders also, whether it is suppliers or see the employer, workers, suppliers, and the customers and everything. These are all stakeholders. You see all their changing requirements. We'll be able to meet by improving our quality standard using ISO 9000 series. Then to provide confidence to internal management and to other employees. See, the moment you say we are ISO 9000 compliant, ISO 9000 certification we are having, that means it develops a confidence in the management also and the employees also. Okay, and then it provides confidence in the customers and stakeholders also, and it provides confidence that the quality system requirements are being fulfilled. And also it provides governments of the country or the state, they will have a technical base for health, safety, environmental legislation. You see, if they need a base for if you are setting up some of the companies, you have to get some permissions from the government, especially if it's a chemical industry, and for that matter, every industry needs something or some permission or the other. So depending upon what type of company we set up, so for them also they need some basis for legislation. Okay, then the advantages of ISO 9000 system. See, this series helps us to to meet the internationally uniform quality system. It helps us to build customer confidence, and it generates world-class products. Then by adapting ISO 9000, it enhances the quality image of the company. You see, even in the minds of the general public, the quality image of the company increases, because at the moment you say we are ISO 9000 certified company, they look at you with a different different opinion, okay, than till now what we were having. Okay, it provides a status symbol also. It is a status symbol, like something to be proud of. They are, while advertising also, they will be always telling ours is an ISO 9000 certified company. See, it becomes a very powerful marketing tool. Okay, even for customers, they can always tell ours is a more quality conscious company. Say we are ISO 9000 certified company. You see, for such companies, if they are charging a little bit extra money also, people will be willing to buy. Okay, it reduces the need for assessment. This is one thing. The multiple buyers. See, if many buyers are there, every buyer need not come and do his own inspection and waste time, money, and energy. Okay, you see, because it is already ISO 9000 certified company, and therefore they need not do their own inspections. They can, without even inspections, they can buy those things. ISO 9000 certification forms a solid foundation for improvement, consistency, and profitability. See, because they are maintaining documentation. If you have documentation, you will be able to refer also sometimes. Now, after 1 or 2 years, you can refer those things. Okay, so it will be a foundation for improvement, consistency, profitability. Then it helps the company to specify the right components, processes, tools, and equipment for the job. Why? Because your systems are all according to the standards of ISO 9000. Okay, therefore you will be able to specify the correct components, processes, and tools and equipment. Okay, then it helps the company to achieve a system of management and control. So managing the things and controlling the processes and everything, it helps the company to achieve a system of management and control. Then it provides good platform for continuous quality improvement. Okay, and there are some more advantages. It ensures sound quality assurance system. It results in improvement in efficiency, reduction in inspection, reduction in scrap, and reduction in rework. It helps the company to distribute information to right people. See, because you are maintaining the documentation now, you will be able to, you are readily having the information, so you'll be able to distribute the information to the people, the right people, and at right times. You need not be wondering, or we don't have information, you see. And it ensures customer satisfaction. Obviously, it improves documentation also. Earlier, those people who are not maintaining documents, if they are having the ISO 9000 certification, so they will be maintaining the documents. They have to maintain documents. Okay, then the operating standards, housekeeping, all these things will be improved. Okay, then it ensures confidence with all the stakeholders, whether they are suppliers, investors, or shareholders, anybody, the confidence will be enhanced. Okay, then it can enhance foreign exchange also, because you'll be able to export the things. So for your company, for your country, you will earn foreign exchange. It improves the perception of the product. You see, not only the company in the site. You see, the moment you say ISO 9000 certified company, companies will have good perception. People will have good perception about the company. Similarly, the product produced also will have good perception. Then it increases the awareness of employees in the company about the requirements and the activities, and it motivates the employees naturally, because they take pride in that certification. And also it improves the morale of all the people who are involved. And also, because your quality is according to the international standard, your potential market share also will increase. Okay, now some limitations. Is, it depends upon resources. See, some of the small units may not be able to afford those resources. Okay, so formulating, documenting of the system, you see, this is time consuming. If everything you have to put it down on the paper and you have to write. You see, normally we don't have one to write. If you are writing everything, it takes time. It is a time consuming, and it involves considerable clerical expenses. You may have to employ some people also, some clerks also, or some computer operators, for documenting all these things. So those wages and salaries, those expenses go up. Then assessment and registration are also expensive. See, you have to register. For registering, you have to pay money, and when those people, examiners, come and do the assessment, for them you have to pay the money. You may have to lodge them in the 5-star company, 5-star hotels, or 3-star hotels at least. Okay, then unless carefully interpreted and planned, the system becomes burdensome and expensive. Some of the people, they're always deceiving the people. some even in our country also, some of the companies, see, they won't document the truth. They will manipulate the things. You see, such people, for such people, after some time it becomes burdensome, and they will feel it's not worth maintaining and all. But the thing is, if you want to maintain this ISO 9000 certification, you have to put the efforts. Okay, then the need to change attitude. People, you have the people who are working in the company, you have to change their attitudes, and the people should accept the new working practices. And sometimes the management may not be capable to bring so many changes into the company. Okay, so this is about ISO 9000. Now ISO 14000 series. Now this 14000 includes representation of core set of standards used by organizations for designing and implementing an effective environmental management system. See, this is used for environmental management system. See, here it is said ISO 14000 standards are called ISO 14000 environmental management standards. So this is more for towards the environment. Okay, see, this is a series of standards and guidelines and reference documents which covers ecological label, eco labeling, environmental aspects, life cycle assessment, and environmental auditing and evaluation of environmental performances. So you may say, why we should take this standard, why we should follow this standard. So this is government will require you. You see, governments will say you have to have this standard, otherwise we won't give you permission. Environmental clearance we won't give you. So most of the companies, you recently in Tamil Nadu, I think it is a Vedanta company, because of the environment concerns. I say people are all protesting. You see, this company pollutes our waters, and because of by drinking that water we are falling sick and all. We don't want this company here. They were protesting, and the governments also may not give the permission if you are not meeting the environmental standards. Okay, the principal elements of standards are environmental policy, planning, implementation, operation, inspection for taking corrective action, and management review. These are the things which will be there in those standards. Okay, then the objectives of ISO 9000 standards. See, to make it mandatory for organization to follow the applicable laws as laid down by the government of the country or the state, the regulations and other environmental oriented requirements. It is mandatory means it is compulsory. You have to make it compulsory, that you will not be damaging the environment. Nowadays, so for some few years back we were hearing about global warming and other things. I think even now they say, but you see that's why this environmental conscious people have become. Okay, then to help the organization minimizing their operations which adversely affect the environment, and how they adversely affect the water, the air and land and all those things. Sea also, sometimes sea water or river water or even the groundwater, tank water, all those things. Then it promotes a more effective and efficient environmental management in organizations, to provide useful and usable tools which are cost effective and enough flexible, and to reflect best practices, organizational practices for collecting, interpreting and communicating the information which is relevant for the environment. These are the objectives of ISO 9000. Okay, so now we have come to the end of this topic also, ISO 9000 and ISO 14000. These two series we have seen. Okay, so we'll stop here, and we will discuss another topic tomorrow. Thank you.